I think we are live. Just checking my audio video. So I think yesterday the audio seems to be challenge. Just making sure we are all right. So we are live for yet another episode in this 100 days to emotional intelligence using brain skills. This is dedicated to women who are not just women, actually. Initially we started off for busy moms, but I think emotional intelligence is becoming more demanded skill for this 21st century. So it is applicable for everybody who listens to this episode. You could be a student, you could be an adult, you could be a youth, adult in various walks of life, any gender, any culture, any parts of the world. So this is a series dedicated to improve your emotional intelligence awareness and provide you the necessary skills. And we have been talking about how to take risks and how to become risk tolerance versus risk adverse in your walks of life. You could be a business entrepreneur, who are dealing with volatile markets and lots of competitive edge. Or you could be a corporate leader who's, responsible for taking a lot of critical decision making. Or you could be a stay-at-home mom who is taking care of their family and balancing a lot of things. Or you could be a student who has to decide and focus on what is your career choices and well-being and associations that you are in. Everybody, even a student, goes through a lot of stress because of endless distractions. Now when I call distractions, I'm calling them all of them under one umbrella, but there are various degrees to those kind of distractions. There are various angles to that. So emotional intelligence is becoming a very, very necessary skill for that matter. I want to ask you, what if there is an opportunity for you, a bigger opportunity for you, waiting right there at your doorstep? Just like, right there when you come out of your comfort zone. How many of you want to seize that kind of an opportunity? All of us, right? But it can happen for those people who are ready, who are willing, because when there's an opportunity doesn't have a bias. It's there for everybody, but it lands in one's lap based on the readiness and willingness of that person. So what is not, or what is coming in your way with between your growth and your state of mind, helping you to come out of your comfort zone and grow, is something that we will see today. And we will also see how to develop that particular skill, which can, it's like a talent, it's a key talent, which can help you come out of that comfort zone to be able to grow and seize that opportunity. Okay. Today we will see what is the fear of taking risks, which is keeping you stuck for a long time in any domains of life. You could be a student who has a lot of things to do, but you kind of procrastinate for a longer time. Or you could be an adult hardwired that you're not being able to flexibly get into that habit of something that you want to grow, develop and grow. Or it could be simple goals in your life. It could be a weight loss, or it could be some well-being habits, or it could be some technical skills that you want to pursue that you're not able to, or even accepting the situations, the crisis situations comes to your life and you want to bounce back, but you're not able to because you're inflexible. There is a rigidity, but you don't know how to come out of it. And you could be a business entrepreneur, who dealing with, naturally, you have to deal with a lot of, changes in the market, but, somewhere you get stuck, you are not able to take that kind of jump when it's needed. So we're going to see all that today, especially the power of taking risks. And you're going to learn how to take risk. We've been seeing these, risk tolerance as a top talent for the last 2, 3 episodes now, and we will continue to do so in the next 2, 3 episodes as well, because we're going to deep dive into it and cover the broader aspect and angles for different kind of people. Today we will see um, learning to take risk and how to grow beyond your comfort zone by developing the mindset of a risk taker, and why calculated risk leads to growth, and how a successful leader, we all know about that person. As a case study, we every episode will have a famous personality that we can always relate to. So how that person is able to take that bold decisions and build that empire, right? So we're going to also see actionable steps in the form of brain hacks to be able to help you come out of your comfort zone. All right, so hang on till the end of the episode. You will also find some gifts, rewards for you for your learning. If you have been consistently learning and watching all these episodes, trying to break through your resistance and be able to get some tinge of emotional intelligence skills in your life, there is always, I love to give gifts, and how many of us don't want to receive gifts? All of us need it, right? So the gift is in the form of a tool, which will be given to you in the form of link in the descriptions. Right after this call, I'll announce what it is. So if you're a consistent watcher, please do subscribe. If you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, do so that you will get notified. And if you've been consistently watching this episode, you know what I'm talking about. You know what is a gift. You know how to use it. And there's a lot of people who enrolled for it. There's a link given there. You can enroll for it, and whenever it's going to be coming outside for live for public to be using, it's going to be only for a shorter time, because I'm going to prepare 100 quizzes for 100 episodes. Each and every episode will have the quiz. So for example, today we are talking about risk taking, how to learn to take a risk. It is general for everybody. Tomorrow I may be doing an episode for specific to business entrepreneurs. So the angle of building that awareness is going to be huge. So make use of this quiz templates. It's going to be available for lifetime if you enroll, right? So let's dive into today's episode. Let's see what we've got for today, and I'm going to be sharing my screen shortly. All right, there we go. So in case you're watching me live, just give me a hi, hello on this episode. Just making sure my chat is opened and I'm audible, visible. All right. So today's episode is more towards learning about how to integrate the power of taking risk in your life, business, and any walks of life. And I'm going to be sharing the screen with you. Yes. Okay. All right. So I'm sure I am visible to you. Yeah, my PPT is visible. So as you can see, I'm just going to start for a minute and just take yeah, there we go. All right. We are officially on episode number 72, and we are talking about the power of risks and how do we take it. Now, in general, this episode is dedicated to develop your EQ brain skills. Okay, we are essentially talking about logical and emotional brain. Okay, all of us have brain. And when you take a scan of your brain, there will be two hemispheres. Okay, the left side, this is my left side, and this is my right side. Left side is all about logical brain. And just quickly checking my audio, just making sure that I am, yep, there. When you take a scan of your brain. All right. So in order to replicate the brain talents in you, we already have it. So there is no hassles. Everybody has two sides of brain, okay, which is that logical and emotional. So even if it's going to be a child, youth, all of us born as a human being, whether it's a tender brain or it's an adult grown brain, you will find the logical and emotional brain kicking in right after our birth. It's just that our emotional brain, which is a right side brain, is more active when we were a child. That's where we were sensitive to a lot of things naturally happening around us. And then, based on the education, based on the background, based on the brought up, based on the associations, the logical brain starts kicking in right after 6, 7 years age. That's where the distinctions can happen, discretion can happen. In fact, what I knew of certain facts that around 6 to 7 years is when the child grows their personality, which means they have their own likes and dislikes. Okay. So after that, the adult brain, slowly starts kicking in, like when they become a preteen, teen, and, it's more of a complete brain. Okay. However, every day, the generating cells inside the brain varies from ages to ages. Okay. I think till 40 years, 35 to 40 years, it keeps, generating, and the speed of regeneration of cells is so huge when we are youth at young age, and then it recedes away. So that would only be the difference. But when it comes to your IQ and EQ, so the basic difference is emotional intelligence sustains, for a long time, and it can be learnable, it can be measurable. That's a good news. So it's not that, when you have not learned about emotional intelligence in your young age because the schooling didn't have that focus. So we are at a bigger loss, especially, decades before, people in the 80s, 90s, and before that, we were never taught anything about emotions during our school time. But it is not so in the upcoming era. So that is this is one of the initiatives for you to get accustomed to emotional intelligence, because as a parent, as an adult, we have that responsibility for our next generation and also to take care of our well-being. Having said this, we are talking about how to take that risk, which is relevant to our walks of life, and how do we incorporate that. So when we are talking about emotional intelligence using your left brain, right brain, let's see how your left brain is easy for you to adapt, is making it easy for you to adapt what is needed for you to take, when it is needed for you to take risk. So your left brain is logical brain. So it helps you to analyze risk logically without analyzing, without even identifying what is the risk, without weighing its potential rewards against the downsides. We're going to be blindly taking a choice, which is not taking risk, which is not objectively taking risk. It is just blindfoldedly walking on the two sides of the rope. Okay, we will anyway fall. So it is important that we need to have a blend of both the left brain and right brain working. Taking risk is, of course, it's the right brain, because you're going to take that leap of faith. Okay, so the invisible factors works a lot when you have to take that risk, because you work on your intuition. Of course, you work on the visible data around you. That is why the logical brain comes in place. Beyond that visible data, there's something else kicking in you for you to take that step, right? So that is something that we call it as intuitive brain, which is happening in your right side brain. So your right side brain is going to help you tap into that emotional courage and intuition. Mark these two words: emotional courage and intuition. Courage can be differentiated: physical, mental, emotional courage. Okay. Somebody could be unapologetically courageous, okay, to do a lot of physical stuffs. Okay. Same goes with their mental attitude. But when it comes to emotions, they, they want to call themselves unapologetic, but then they are those people, they could be those people who are disregarding those emotions, okay, not being aware of it. Now, the question of different types of courage comes, especially when we are talking about emotional courage, is because, when you're taking a risk, you're not only dealing with your own emotions, but it is also emotions with others. Even if you're running business, whether you're running a business or not, you definitely have two parts working all the time in you. Okay. Even if you're a stay-at-home mom, in fact, for stay-at-home mom, it is even more important. Whether it is stay-at-home mom or a dad, it is even more important that we have to be aware with two kinds of emotions going on. One is for self and others. And it's so with the case of working professionals. Even if you're working as an individual contributor, you are going through your emotions, and so with your team members. Okay, so it is important for you to tap into that. So you're going to trust instincts to push beyond your comfort zone with regards to taking risk. Now, the key message you have to see here is, when are you going to take risk? Is, first of all, why are you taking risk? Is because you're going to embrace that uncertainty. Because highest fear, apart from the public speaking and all that, is the fear of uncertainty. Of course, the fear of death is, psychologically and spiritually, it's more of a highest form of fear. But then, practically speaking, the fear of uncertainty is what is creating a lot of anxiety, and then it leads to depression, and then added emotions like guilt, shame, resentment, FOMO, a lot of things happening is because we are uncertain about ourselves, about our situations, about the future. Okay. So taking risk is crucial for growth, personally, business, professionally, whatever it is. It opens new possibilities for success. And then it helps you step outside your comfort zone. You're going to push boundaries leading to personal and professional development. Now, what are the advantages of learning to taking risk? One, personal growth. You are going because you will definitely grow because you're stepping out of your comfort zone. Now, learning new skills or learning new perspectives, learning, taking that new experiences, sharing that new experiences, everything is part of growth. And then it increases your confidence. Each successful risk builds self-assurance and encourages bold actions. So, and also it's going to give you greater achievement because risk taking often leads to significant accomplishments in life and thought. Now, there could be advantage and there could be downsides. Let's see what's that. More advantage of risk taking is expanding your comfort zone. Each risk which takes expands your ability to handle the larger challenges. You can see yourself expanding because you're no more that person the moment you step out of your comfort zone. It could be a smaller degree, but then eventually, consistently, if you can do it, you will see yourself expanding. Then you will also have a resilience. The moment you are ready to get out of your comfort zone, each and every time when a hurdle hits, you are able to bounce back. Okay. Risk takers develop that emotional strength to bounce back from setbacks. And then the downsides of it is it could be many, but the interest of time, we are taking few things. One is risk failure. Okay. Not all risks can lead to success also. There could be many things that we have to weigh. Okay. But then if you keep on taking weigh, if you keep on weighing, you're only getting ready forever. So there is no actually risk taking. Risk taking, not necessarily that will lead you to only success. There could be failures, and you should be able to embrace that. Only then the resilience can work. You will again be intuitive. The courage can work. If you cannot accept the failure, what is going to happen? You won't take steps. You won't take a risk next time. And then the matter of intuition or courage or anything else coming into your rescue is not going to be there at all. Uncertainty and anxiety also can kick in because stepping into unknown territory can lead you to more success, what do you call stress only, right? Because it's a new thing. Even for a child who's going stepping into a new school or a new classroom, new set of friends, there is an anxiety. And so it'll be for an adult because the level of risk could be larger, right? Potential loss. Some risk may result in financial and emotional relationship issues. Additionally, it can give you overwhelm because the continuously if you keep on taking a risk, you're only going to lead you to burnout. Or it could be some potential losses also, right? Because what happens, I must tell you, each and every episode of risk taking, I think there are prominent examples around us, especially the successful leaders in the industry. Their trend right now is everywhere there is competitive edge, right? People want to stay ahead. People want to pioneer in a lot of initiatives, and they pick up initiatives which for sure they know 80% will be failure. How's that? Look at the level of risk taking that the leaders in the industries are churning into. For example, Elon Musk once, told some journalist to answer a question for a startup. They said the level of risk taking, they train their brain, they train their team members' brain skills to be able to see risks as opportunity. Of course, they will weigh analytically, strategically, they'll have to weigh because otherwise it will be a total loss and reputation impact as well. Because public failures may temporarily affect one's professional reputation and continuously as a pattern, if you're consistently failing, it only going to depreciate your market value. Somewhere there has to be a success. If not, then you're analytically, strategically wrong. Okay. Importance of learning to take risk is if you don't have it, stagnation will kick in personal growth and professional growth. You're going to miss opportunities, right, for advancement. And if somebody has this, they're going to get new experiences, growth, and greater achievements in life and work naturally. Statistically, also, you should remember that job satisfaction, especially with corporate people, risk takers report 22% higher job satisfaction. Now, the risk could be, accepting a new higher responsibility or accepting a new job offer because Even accepting a new job offer impacts a lot of decision making, right? If you have a family, it has its own impact, right? Because the family could be dependent on you for a lot of decision making, schooling, a neighborhood, a lot of accessibility. Even for you to accommodate new skills, new technology, new company, new associations, new responsibilities, going to be a lot of stress. So it's not something that a normal being, nobody likes to change, right? Change jitters everybody. It brings anxiety. But somebody who's embracing that change definitely is a risk taker. But if they don't weigh it, their rewards and outcomes, then it's going to be a blindfold uh, decisions. And it should also bring you personal fulfillment. Those who take calculated risk experiences 30% personal fulfillment. Because of course, when I take a risk as a normal person, as a woman, as a mom, as a leader, as a business entrepreneur, the angle of risk could be really different. So I need to be able to weigh it properly and then be able to take that steps. Suppose I have the success rate of, having that risk taken, having a fruition on that risk taken, it's definitely going to boost my confidence when I look back, right? Who needs to learn this, first of all? Entrepreneurs, of course, who are dealing with every time they seek, uh, you know, they have to deal with a volatile market, competitive vendors, some innovation in technology. They have to embrace a lot of regulations, changes. So they have to seek growth and innovations. That means they have to be a risk taker. And then working professionals also, those who seek career advancement or industry transitions from government industry to going to a private industry, that's a huge transition. From education industry going to a technology industry, huge transition, right? Similarly, for one company to another company, or transitioning from physical business to online, that could be another challenge as well. Students facing academic and career related decisions, definitely they're taking risk. So we just cannot take it for granted that they don't need a skills. No, everybody needs the skill. Now, more groups who benefit from risk taking could be parents teaching children to step outside comfort zone, individuals aiming for personal development in various life aspects. Applicability. Now, let's see what are the other areas it is applicable. Applicability in risk taking and entrepreneurship. The reason why I keep mentioning, in each and every episode is because somewhere let this be reiterated many times so that when I do a specific episode for business entrepreneurship, you must have got prepared that it is important. You may not yet be in entrepreneurship. Suppose you are, then it will be easy for you to correlate. Suppose you are not, then you can always learn that as an EQ skills, it is spreaded across all walks of life. Now, for entrepreneurship, in innovation and market entry, you can see this very tangible. Okay. Entrepreneurs take calculated risk to develop groundbreaking solutions. For example, Tesla risked billions to revolutionize that electrical vehicle market when most considered that as unfeasible. Talking about 2010 and you know beyond 2010, meaning before 2010. I'm talking when I came to know about electric cars, that was sometime in 2008 or 9. Okay, that time I was even thinking, who would even drive? Maybe even US roads. Okay. But when I look at the roads in US and then the feasibility of people everywhere, they are charging electric cars, and people are talking about turning to environmental free, driving cars like that. In fact, the whole perspectives of people have changed, not only industries, not only government. So that is the level of growth that they expected. But that time when they started, everybody could not imagine and they were against. So that is the risk that this person would have taken it. Okay. And then the market entry. So entering untested markets requires courage and careful planning. Airbnb took that bold risk by challenging the traditional hospitality norms, right? Creating an entirely new market for home sharing. Beautiful, right? Mark these keywords. Traditionally physical hospitality norms, right? They challenged that and they created a home sharing mobile, and you don't need to be there also. Everything is happening through technology, your phone. So that is a new revolution. Okay. And then a lot of Uber, Ola, and a lot of things which has come, which can be categorized into automated industries, right? So risk taking and career development also. Identifying the opportunity is very, very important. This is good, hold goods for the youth who are, right now uh, looking for jobs, seeking for first-time jobs, or even switching jobs, or even working professionals who are switching from uh, beginning career to mid-career and senior career. You need to be able to identify the opportunity, recognize emerging trends in your industry, like a software developer, spotting the growing demand, take that leap, make that bold career moves, such as transitioning from traditional marketing, leading to digital marketing, reap that benefits, unlocking new career path, higher compensation, like doubling your safety by moving from individual contributor to departmental head. That is a huge transition. Again, that's a risk, right? So, that is very important. And risk taking in personal financing. This is again for any individual who wants to take care of their personal securities, right? Financial security. You've got to take calculated investment. In fact, the word called risk taking is very, very tangible, very synonymous for stocks, right? Because that's where they take risk and then they put it on higher yielding returns stocks, which is very, very important to take that call. So taking managed risks in investment can lead to financial growth. Okay. Diversification also is a key word for people who invest. They know very clearly that they cannot put their golden eggs in one bucket. So they diversify. Similarly, as an individual, it is important to diversify the profit or your savings into different dimensions. And then risk taking in relationship is also there. What are those areas? Emotional vulnerability and bold decisions. Let's see what is that. Emotional vulnerability. Vulnerability is a wonderful word, wonderful state of being, right? I would say it's a secret sauce for emotional intelligence. If you cannot be sensitive, if you cannot be vulnerable for your own emotions, first of all, you won't be able to show that vulnerability to others, or you won't be able to be sensitive to others. Or in other words, if you are so sensitive for others and not being able to sensitive for yourself, there is a conflict. And if you're so sensitive for yourself and not being able to being sensitive or vulnerable towards others, again, there is a problem. So there has to be a vulnerability for both self and others. I always insist that emotional intelligence has two components. One is for self and others. Now, why are we calling it as emotional vulnerability? Are there so many vulnerability? That's for another topic. When we talk about vulnerability, we will go in depth. But right now, between two human beings, emotions matters. And when there is a domain of relationship, there's not going to be any other kind of uh, I would rather say this is the most important skills that they should have for each other, because unless a person is sensitive to another person who's staying with them for a lifelong, even if you're a roommate, it is important to be sensitive, right? Because you're living together for quite some time. Even within your friends, it is important to be vulnerable, to be open up. Otherwise, it has its own impact. So opening up emotionally can strengthen bonds and deepen connections. For example, sharing past hurts or fears with your partner, although it is scary, can create that profound trust and intimacy. But it depends on who you can actually trust. It is important to be able to create the trust factor, or be able to identify the trust between you and the other person. Because if there is no trust, then the vulnerability cannot happen. Even as a parent, right? It is important to create that vulnerable environment where your child can be easily able to express and open up, right? You should be vulnerable of your own flaws and your own fears to your child also, because that will open up a different, deeper conversations, deeper relationship as well. Bold decisions. So this is tangential. As much as you're very soft, I'm not asking you to be soft, but it is sensitiveness. As much as you're going very subtle, it is also important to have that bold decision making. Making significant life-changing, decisions together can foster that relationship together, right? Consider a couple deciding to relocate to new city to better opportunities, facing the unknown as a team while strengthening the partnership. This is practically happening, whether it is transition from one job to another because the entire family is relocating, or transitioning one country to another. It's a huge change, cultural change, with a lot of adaptability that needs to kick in. So if you work as a team, by, preparing your family earlier, and also proactively take measures about their education, their accessibility, their living, you can be peaceful at work, right? Whether you are a man or a woman, we all, as an adult, it is very important to take care of these areas. Risk taking in health and wellness, physical challenges, and new routines. So, pushing physical limits in fitness leads to personal transformation. Correct. Because, for example, if you sign up the first marathon when you have never run more than a mile, challenges both your body and mindset, right? Because we'll have so many conflicting voices within us. So, it is important to build that resilience, commitment, providing what is possible for you to complete that first marathon. So pushing limits is one thing, but then it should not be overboarded. Otherwise, you will break. So the risk could become a worse in you. Okay. The new routines, trying unconventional health practices can improve overall well-being also, right? Consider starting 5 a.m. meditation routine when you have always been a night owl. Okay, while changing at first could be very difficult, but it can transform your entire day energy levels. All right, so now we'll see the five brain hacks. So this will be the one form of gift where right now you got the right awareness, the context is set, right? At this point of juncture, it is more of an action point. What you're going to do is you're going to listen to the hacks that can be made use only right now. In fact, after this episode, you can put that into action. For left brain hack, right brain hack, and mid brain hack for you to able to apply the power of taking risk. Okay, let's see the first one. That's for your left brain. Start always with small, risk, manageable risk in your day-to-day. So identify the low stakes areas in your life. So find out where you have the minimal consequences and then take that. Take manageable risk because starting with small challenges can build that confidence also gradually. You can bounce back quickly also. That's not going to be much loss. Maybe loss of time and effort, but not big things. You can always bounce back and reflect and learn also. Analyze outcomes to improve future risk-taking decisions. Reframing failure as feedback is also important. This is going to be your right brain. Now, whenever there is a failure, as you are trying to take a risk, and when you go down, have a setback or something, reflect that. Okay, very, very important to see what are your patterns, what were your behaviors, what were the outcomes. Has it served you or not? Has it served others around you or not? If it is applicable. So the mindset shift is very, very important, and continuous improvement is also, that is what is going to determine your success rate. You just cannot, okay, right after this episode, you're inspired and you take actions and then just leave it. No, we want to rewire your brain, right? That needs consistent effort. So, viewing failures as valuable lessons, learning opportunities after every setback is very, very important. In fact, don't look at that as a setback also. And then use feedback from failures to refine strategies and approaches. That is why we are reflecting. Okay, it is not to repent and regret. It is not to beat yourself up. It is to get that wisdom as to what to do and what not to do. So visualizing success is your right brain, something which is intangibly that you can dream, you can just visualize. Just close your eyes without anybody's botheration. You can just visualize, right? So that's going to be your right brain hacks. You're going to imagine positive outcomes for you to be able to take that risk, right? Many of us don't do this. We don't have a foresight to see what could be the long-term benefits of it. So if you can relish that outcomes, successful outcomes, people will be excited and willing to take that risk. A lot of people fear to or even avoid seeing it. Okay. And it is only going to help you visualize results from taking risk, imagining the positive outcomes by boosting your confidence, because mental rehearsal is going to give you that self-assurance in riskier situations. It's okay. It doesn't need to happen that way. But what if it happens that way? Right? Enhancing motivation. Positive visualization can enhance bold decision making as well, action taking as well. Now, gathering information for calculated risk is a left brain, purely left brain. I told you there has to be a logical analysis of consequences also. If you cannot gather the relevant information, it becomes a hasty decisions. Now you're taking a call for your business, and your information is related to some other values of your life. It could be education of your children, and you're not able to think through on your the risk that you have to take your business, what is it related to that, then it's going to be irrelevant. Okay, so you'll have to research thoroughly relevant information, okay, potential risk and outcomes, and then create that strategies also. Just by thinking, it's not going to help you. For you to take that action, you need pathways, you need directions. That is what is called strategies. Okay, and then seek extra advice from experts. A lot of people are ready to give it advice, but seek the relevant and correct person, trustworthy person, so that they don't leave you hanging or, you know, mislead you. Okay. If you want, hire a consultant, a coach who is an expertise in that field. And then build a supportive network. It's a both the brain activity where you're going to take perspectives from outside, help and support, emotional support from outside through your mentors, seek guidance from experienced risk takers in your field. I would say have a mentor for all dimensions of life, whether it is health or finances or business or personal development like emotional intelligence. Have a coach because they know what are the skills, what are the tools, what are the hacks from their experiences or from the case studies from the industries. Because when we go through problems, we think we are the only one who's going through the problem, unless you have a network like this to be able to share your burdens or even tell you, hey, know what, you're not alone. I've also been there. Right? That kind of empathetic people should be around you. Suppose you don't find, it's okay. You can always hire. Because when you hire, they are bound to be accountable for your outcomes. Because that's the beauty of having a mentor. Not just that, they would be mission oriented. They don't want to misguide their client forever, right? And then friends, surround yourself with supportive peers who can encourage growth. Colleagues, connect with professionals who understands your industry challenges. Okay. Then let's talk about a case study. Now, case study is done on somebody who has lived through what we are actually talking about. And all, not just that, they have proven strategies about taking a risk. Now, in each every episode, we are talking about each talent. So they have proven strategies to be able to use this talent in their field and perfected it. Okay, we're going to adopt their strategies. We're talking about Mark Zuckerberg. His face is cut off, but then the Facebook is here. You know who am I talking about? His vision was he is actually a dropout from Harvard to pursue Facebook full time. How many of you do not know this fact? I did not know this fact until I researched on him. He's a dropout from Harvard. Can you imagine? By taking bold decisions, right? And innovation, for innovation, he had taken that decision. So he innovated, he launched Facebook globally despite fierce competition. Okay. Uh, Already there were few network platforms like Twitter and Snapchat, if I'm not wrong. Those times when Facebook was not there, I think close to about 2008 and 9 is where I got to know about Facebook at all. I think before that, there was only not Twitter, something called, Orkut that we used it in India. Okay. And then making that bold decisions, he made higher stakes acquisitions like Instagram later on is also a risk. Okay, he could have just left it with all that money that he had earned and the reputation he had earned. Why taking risk? Because that's what entrepreneurs does. Okay, they don't get averse with risk taking at all. Now, what do we learn from his approach is that his left brain skills is data driven decision making. We all know that Facebook is based on data that we feed it. Okay. It is, of course, it's a beautiful networking platform, connecting platform. It brought people together, right? Right now, everybody is on Facebook, whether it is a youth or a aged person. They get to know what is happening around and within their family, right? They are able to boldly share their selfies, their wisdom, and they record what they want to say to this world. And there are, these are all data for a company, for an entrepreneur. So it is driven by data, and it is refined its future features and managed risk because of the data, constant data driven processes. And his right brain skills says that he's a visionary. Okay. And the boldness that he had to take high stake decisions despite of uncertainty, is what is making him stand where he is right now. Okay. We all know that Facebook transition to Meta, but before that, they were under a lot of scrutiny, a lot of public implications. They outgrown all of that with using, the resilience factors, the risk taking, and the amount of strategic decisions that they have to take at that kind of right kind of time, and also taking care of their people's well-being, which is even more important because their successors. We even spoke about Sheryl Sandberg, her skills, being a woman, having gone through her own hardships, personal hardships, she was able to help the company, the Facebook, stand on its like at the most critical time of testing times of Facebook. So that's how the leaders build their skill set. Now, at this point of time, if you have questions like where do you stand in terms of regularly stepping outside your comfort zone, are you able to reframe your failure as a learning opportunity? Do you have people who can encourage and guide you to take bold decisions when you need, and so many questions. Okay, I'm going to give you a reward, a gift for you to hang on with this kind of a awareness session. And I consider you as a sincere learner. I'm going to give you this EQ quiz bundles absolutely free of cost. All you have to do is just hang on. There's a link given below, and just register there. It'll take you to a place where it'll ask you to, in fact, what you can do is you can just put down your learnings, top three learnings, as a comment below right after this episode is over. When I see your comment, I'll give you a coupon code onto your email ID. When you register in the link given below, your email ID will come up to me, and then I will give you a coupon code. That will give you a 100% coupon code for you to access this quiz. When it is published outside 100 quizzes, imagine the amount of effort and time it's going to take. So it's going to be available for free of cost for those people who are able to engage with me in these episodes. All you're going to do is share your top three learnings. It could be your own understanding, your own expertise, your own wisdom. Anything that is related to this topic will definitely be encouraging for others also. After this, I also invite you to join my EQ workshop specifically for women. That's where we're going to talk about how to learn to use your brain skills in tangible. Okay, I'm going to give you a sample of a psychometric tool. We're talking about neural network-based tools, AI-driven tools of EQ. We're not talking fluffy language. Whereas I'm going to give you a one sheet of report which can tell you a lot of data about yourself. So it's going to be a very interactive and very useful, new perspective about emotional intelligence, because everybody thought emotions is all theory and it cannot be tangibly concretized. But it is not so. You will see that it will be an interesting workshop that is out there for only for women. The link is given there, register, and whenever you register, there are a lot of people have registered. They're waiting for that schedule. And I can only take a few people because it is going to be an interactive workshop. So you'll have to wait for the next schedule, but register there, and whenever it's going to be out there, you will get notified. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already, and follow me on Instagram. It is very important for you to stay in touch, and also know that there are various resources. You don't have to worry that you are not you know my set of audience, but then emotional intelligence is very, very important, because for you to manage every setback, you need to have that kind of a, not just the motivation is going to be enough in this world, it is also the skill set. And whatever episodes we have done in this series, and more than this, in the future series, it's going to help you improve those skills. So stay tuned, and I want you to embrace each success story, uh, with that kind of a small manageable risk, because that's what is going to differentiate you between others and within yourself. You're going to gain a whole lot of confidence if you can start taking that manageable risk. Okay. Step out of your comfort zone, embrace that uncertainty, and watch your life transform. I want you to stay tuned for the next episode as well. And subscribe to my Spotify if you haven't already, because I'm going to give you a podcast on the fly, on the go. You can just listen to this same episode. And there are other free resources for you to also practice.